Hey guys, Chris, Ironhead Garage. Well, we're back out in the shop. Old me and Bones. Yeah, he's been sitting in the Model A with little Bones watching drag racing. Look at that mean machine. America. Yeah, man. So, we'll start working on this GMC again. I think I'm going to put the lowering shackles on. It's supposed to lower me 2 inches down. I got the heater burned, it's cold. So from the lip to the lip of the fender, I got 4 inches, maybe a little bit more. We'll see how much it lowers it down. But here's those shackles. They're pretty stout, 2-inch lowering shackles, extended shackles they're called. So on the original ones, they just have a center bolt through there, like so, that hold them together. And I believe these are just pressed on there. And the shackles, they have the bushings in here. They have little grease zerks right here where you can grease them up. So I saw that the bushings there are rotten, so I got a pack of these. There's 8 of them here, enough for to change all the rears. So I got the wood all moved out of the way to do these. I'm gonna have to jack the rear of the frame up and block it up a little bit. As you can see, there they are. Look at them bushings on the ends there are pretty cracked. And I did grease these all up. There's that guy there. Grease was pumping out of it. So they should come out fairly easy. So we'll do that. And oh yeah, winter's on the way. It's supposed to snow this weekend. So I got the old 55 gasser put away. Drove it for the last time. Always a sad day, but here she is. Yeah, she's locked in her little tomb here. Look how tight this is, guys. Yeah, about 6 inches. When I back it in here, I opened that door right there I built, and then I jacked her up with the floor jack enough so I could walk through here and get to my junk. So she's up on jack stands off of them old bias fly tires so we don't get flat spots in them. But yeah, she's put away for the winter, but springtime will come again. We'll get the old girl back out on the old blacktop and burn her around. But meanwhile, we'll work on this thing. We'll work on that old Model A all winter. See what goes on. See what I can figure out. All right, guys. We're gonna get the back of this thing jacked up and get them old shackles off there. I'll be back. All right, well, I got all these shackles apart. So here's the center of the shackle bolt. Instead of just a metal shaft going through the eyelet of the spring, it's threaded. Yeah, so nothing to wear out. I don't know why they still don't do this today. So the end of that guy here is where the grease zerk goes. And then in the center, it pumps grease all on them threads. And then it just spins in there as the suspension works. Pretty trick system. I don't know if any of you guys seen this before, but this is the first pair I took apart. I remember the front axle was like this. So the mount on the frame is the same way. It's threaded in there. And one of them shafts going there. And this shackle bracket here, it's tapered. Drilled. So that goes in there. And if you try to put it in the other side, see, it don't go in all the way. So you got to put them on the right way. Like so. And then that big center grade 8 bolt pinches them together and holds them. Yeah, pretty trick system. So here's those bushings that go in there, keep the grease from squirting out. And these are all shot. And I tested my new ones and they're the right size. So here's the old shackle length. You can see how much longer it is. So having a longer shackle like on a hot rod jacks the ass end of your car up. Well, the bracket's below the eyelet of the shackle on these old GMC trucks and Chevy trucks. So if you put a longer shackle on it, right below the bed here, because the wood will be here, it actually drops the body down on the suspension. Pretty trick. So that's an easy way to get yourself a 2-inch drop, is running those extended shackles. But since I got this rear leaf springs all unhooked on both sides, I got that guy unhooked there too. I'm noticing that it's off a little bit. You see it from here to there, it's off about, I don't know, 3/8, half an inch or so. It's because my my springs are walked, so they're a little jackknifed on there on the mount, like they get. So, and anyway, this truck's got these bigger, if you can see those, I think it's a 4-pack on top, right there on top of the main leaf spring. Those are the overload springs. So I don't think I need them anymore. So I think I'm gonna drop the rear end down and take them U-clamps off of there for the springs, and I'll have to cut them because the threads ain't long enough anymore after you, see if I can see under here. Yeah, there you go. So I'll have to re-thread those U-bolts, get a die and thread them and cut them, because they'll be too long and I won't have enough threads probably after I take that other stack. There they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 springs. Get that guy out of there. And some guys even take a couple out of the main leaf to drop it, but I don't want it too soft. So I think I'm going to take these wheels off and drop this rear end down and take them U-bolts out of there and get the spring pack apart. And then that center bolt there that holds them together, I'm going to have to cut that too, because it'll be too long, and probably re-tap that center peg, that alignment peg in there. So might as well do it now. Winter time is here, colder than hell outside, and this truck ain't going nowhere anytime soon anyway. So I'll probably have to unhook them shocks, maybe unhook the brake line, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll have to unhook the rubber brake line there, the new one. So I'm gonna get on that and see what I can do. All right, guys, I'm on it. All right, I got the overload spring off. What a pain. And oh, their compressor, it's hissing over there. I tried to use the impact and must have a rust hole in the bottom. Yeah, I'm not draining it all the time, I guess, but had to get the old 1949 3/4 inch drive ratchet out. Man, she's a beast. So there's the overload spring. It don't look very good anyway. It's got a little wow to it. And it had this big old thick, almost 3/4 inch spacer between it. And here's the old U-clamps. Look at that. They were pretty tweaked. That one there on the left broke off. And you can see the rust. So that's original. Then this one here, that one got a big old tweak in it too. I probably did some of it trying to get them bolts off. I snapped one off. There's the bottom that holds the housing up. So one thing good though, the pin. So it had a pin in this guy here. This thing's heavier than hell. Had its own pin. And then this guy here was on top of that. And I took that off, and lo and behold, there's a pin for that. But that front shackle, or that front pivot point there, I believe there's a bronze bushing in there, and that's a little bit different style. It's not a screw, but if I wiggle this, you can see there's a little bit of play in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this whole spring off. And anyway, the springs have walked on it a little bit, so I can bang it all flat and true again. clean it up and replace that bronze bushing in there probably. I've seen those for sale, and there's a pin in there that you can replace too if it's worn out. But yeah, it's gonna make it ride a lot better. Not so stiff probably. I don't think it ever would go down on them overloads anyway, but this thing here, and it's about 55 pounds probably. And here's another 5 pounds. So I'll have to find me some more U-bolts. Get these. I think these are 1/2 inch or 9/16. Get the right length. And I noticed here those axle perches. Look at that big bulldozer weld on there, man. So I have to clean that up and make sure it's all sound. I was gonna pull the rear end out, but I would have to unhook the emergency brake cables. So I just set her down on a block of wood, a couple blocks of wood, and put a stick across the pinion so I wouldn't lose that, so it won't flop on me. But I got this side off, so I'm gonna go work on that other side and then see if it's just like these. I'm sure it is. What a pain. I'm good doing it now though. This is the time. Alright, well, I'll go over here and battle this side off. Alright, back on this old pig. Well, I've been over here working on this passenger side leaf spring, and I got the overload off. Man, look at that wow in it. They must have loaded this old girl down back in the day, hauling some material around or something. But these U-bolts here, U-clamps, they're just as hard to get off as the other ones. They got a tweak on them, and they're pretty shot. They're pretty rusty. That one, they kind of bend to the left, so they're tweaked. So I got this leaf spring tied up off of the axle perch, and I noticed on this big bulldozer weld somebody put on here, if you can look right there, it's cracked. And I tried to wiggle it. Look at that. Yeah, so it's cracked on both sides. Even with that big giant weld on there, there must have been slamming gears with that Muncie in here when the old boy had the 427, and this truck must have been banging gears on the blacktop and broke that perch. But that's a bummer. That's alright. I'll get the welder out and clean this real good on each side and weld her back up. And I noticed that bushing up there, if I set or wiggle that spring, it's got some play in it, so that bronze bushing is probably worn out. So there's a little nut right there you pull off and bang that pin out, kind of like on a kingpin setup, how it keeps the kingpin in an axle. Same deal there, and that little clamp will come off, and then you can drop that spring down. So I'll do that and see what's going on inside, see what I need to replace, and take this spring off and get these springs trued back up, hit them with the sluggo. Yeah, always something on these old trucks. Yeah, that's hot rodding though. That's all part of it and all part of the fun. So I'm gonna get these springs out and get them trued up and look at them bushings. Alright, well, got the heater burning now. Cold out in the shop. But I got the other leaf spring out. The shackle pin here. You can see that one's kind of rusty. It's got a couple little wear marks on it. And there's that bushing inside there. So this side, pretty rattly. And this side here, oh, here's that keeper pin slot that goes in there. Kind of like a kingpin on a straight axle. It's got a grease hole there. You pump grease through there. This side's a little bit worse. Yeah, pretty worn out. It's not into the spring eye yet though, but the bushings wore out in there, so I got a kit coming here. I'll have to press these out, put new bushings in there. But it was time to make a decision for the old truck. You guys know I wanted it low. So this is what made me decide. As you guys know, over there, that spring perch is cracked. It's got to be welded up. But if you look at this spring perch here, look at that big bulldozer weld on there. But you see it's kind of roundy. Put my straight edge on here, and it's bent. So it's up almost 3/8 on that side. So that's not very good. So I'm going to pull this rear end out of here. I'm going to burn both those perches off of there. And I got an axle flip kit coming. So that rear end went on the bottom of the springs, and now it's going to go on the top of the springs. So I'm going to get 4 inches of drop with the axle flop kit. I think I'll have enough room without C-notching my frame. We'll see. We'll see if I need to use these extended shackles, because that'll be 6 inches of drop. Then I might need to, but I think it's going to make the truck look better anyway. It's going to make this fender lip here right down on the rim lip. So that's what I wanted in the first place. I just got to do it. So I'm going to unhook all these brake lines, these new brake lines that I installed on there, and I got to unhook it there. Then I could drag this pig on out of there and cut them shackles off, clean it all up. I wanted to paint it anyway, probably. I'm not sure if I'll paint it right away, because I probably want to get them spring perches on there and mocked up and get my pinion angle right. But this is the time to do it. It's winter time, and like I said, she ain't going nowhere soon. So when this video here, next time you'll see me, I'll get that rear end out of there and get them perches burned off, and maybe I'll get some parts by then. Now keep going. Need to put this front end back on, but I'll get it. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching. You guys take care. Stay warm out there. Me and Bones, we'll be chilling in the shop. See you next time.